Hey, what's up, Herd? It's Friday, March 21st, and this is your market update. Let's get on into the charts. Bitcoin down just 0.5% today, although we have been all over the place in the last week. We have come from the depths of the week here to the tops about 7.5%. From 80,000 up to almost 87,000 and currently sitting around 83,000. Looking at the liquidation heat map, we don't have a ton of liquidity currently. And guys, there are a ton of options expiring today in both traditional and in the crypto markets. So there could be some volatility, especially late in the day. But it looks like we have some liquidity down here at about $80,000 and all the way up at about 87. So who knows where we'll end up in between those two over the next 3 days through this weekend. Ethereum down 1.27%. Again, with Ethereum, we have bounced significantly between about 1852 to up to 2061. That's 11.3% over the last week here. Lots of volatility, guys, and we yet to see what's going to go on. I do want to look at the weekly on this and show you what we have as far as the whale money flow. We are to the bottom end of the whale money flow as far as we can tell on the weekly. In fact, we've bounced up a little bit, so I do expect to see at least a little bit of a bounce over the next couple of weeks here for the price of Ethereum. Now, I do think we have a possibility of a week or two left of major downside volatility before we get into the new tariffs that will start for the United States and all the other countries affected on April 2nd. We did have a great FOMC meeting on Wednesday, guys, that gave us some good news that the Fed is going to continue to slow the quantitative tightening, going from about $60 billion a month to about $40 billion a month. So cutting it relatively in half is what the Federal Chair Powell said on Wednesday. So that was good to hear. Slowing that down will definitely help us, but we'd like to see lower interest rates. And I think that's why Donald Trump is actually giving a lot of chaos to this and bringing the not only the traditional markets down, but also obviously the crypto markets as well. Getting back to the daily, guys, on XRP, we've had a little bit of volatility here as well from the lows of this week at $1.96 to the top at about $1 or $2.51. That's a 30% move, almost 27.9% move for the price of XRP. So some great movement there if you got in on the lows. I do think, I said last week that we'd likely see down to $2 and then bounce off of that, which we absolutely have. So that's great. Getting into BNB, guys, BNB has actually been up significantly. Let's look at the price movement here. From Friday last week to the top of this week, we have moved about 10% as well. Actually, we've wicked all the way up nearly 11% from the bottom at 579 up to 643. Looking solid there. Money flow is heading up and to the right for the price of BNB, and we do have some bullish divergence here, slight bullish divergence on the RSI as well, as we have seen with a lot of the other tokens. Solana still sitting at the bottom of its bottoms, but also has a lot of volatility from 113 all the way up to about 136, guys. That's an almost 20% move on Solana over the last week and a half. And then SWI, guys, has been also quite volatile as well, going from 206 all the way up to 250. That's a 21% move. And we're back down significantly over the last couple of days. SWI has had 2 full days of 5% to the downside after moving up significantly over the last week. BTC dominance continues to remain high, above 61%, has been for the last week, guys. We got all the way up to 62% at the middle of last week and are now moving down, however. But I do think this could roll over, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin run first again in this, which would make a move up possible to about 63.5% for the Bitcoin dominance, but I do think everything will follow with it. However, if we do go to the downside, we could see a bump in the Bitcoin dominance as well, going up closer to 62, maybe even closing above 62 again. And then the rest of the alts would go into the trash with it, unfortunately. But long term, we have USDT dominance, plenty of money on the sidelines, guys, just waiting to get into the market. This is great to see here. As soon as this starts dumping down, we'll see an alt season possibly, and would love to see that. In fact, this is trending down, so we could be seeing that in phase right now. though it looks like most of that is just staying in USDT or USDC and either moving into Bitcoin or staying as stables at the moment. Just waiting for people to really feel a direction for this market. I feel like the market is rather directionless at the moment. People waiting on the sidelines, waiting to see what inflation might happen because of tariffs, or waiting for global liquidity to get unlocked with the quantitative tightening, moving to quantitative easing, moving to quantitative easing later, possibly in the summer. Recession fears are in the air, although the Fed Chair Powell is not scared of that and is showing that he's not scared of that by moving very slowly with interest rate cuts. And we've got good employment numbers and decent inflation numbers. So I agree with him. He doesn't need to panic, but it is slowing the possible bull run that we have currently. And I do think once we do switch from at least stop the QT, guys, I do think we'll see some long-term bull cycles for both alts and BTC in the relatively near future. Looking forward to that happening possibly as early as 2 weeks from now. This could be the bottom, guys, or we're close to it before we start making the move to the upside. And that's all I've got for you this week. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this. Stay up to date with what's going on in the Telegram over at the official Telegram of the Elephant Money ecosystem, guys. BT is starting to hint at what's going on with our next project, and I look forward to revealing that to you in the coming weeks, guys. Hope to see you there. Have a great weekend, and God bless.